저한테 해주시면 제가 전달을 드리겠습니다.
제가 영어로 하고 그냥 한국어로
네, 편하게 해주시면.
Hello, Professor. My name is Jong-soo, and I work here at AKS. And your talk was fascinating, and I learned a lot from your talk. Many things are very new to me. So, but one main question was, you mentioned a few other fortification sites in other countries as well as in Puerto Rico. For example, you mentioned Dominica or Havana, Mexico or Colombia, but their fortification systems are destroyed for some reason. And you mentioned the San Juan fortification still remains well, probably because of U.S. Army take over and they take care of them well. Then what about the defense sites in other countries? They are all demolished, and maybe because some other reasons. So that was my question. 제가 한국어로 간단히.
네네네.
이제 제 질문 간단히, 푸에르토리코의 이 성벽 시설은 잘 비교적 남아 있는데 다른 나라의 뭐 도미니카나 뭐 쿠바나 뭐 콜롬비아에 있는 성벽 시설들은 대부분 이게 파괴가 됐는데 그 이유가 무엇인지 그런 생각을 여쭤봤습니다. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, I will say that there's several factors why that is this way. First of all, when the U.S. occupied the island of Puerto Rico and took over our fortifications, they were in very bad shape. Actually, it was Spain itself who started demolishing the city walls. At that moment, this happened in 1897, 1 year before the Spanish-American War. In Spain, in the mainland, demolishing city walls was popular in that moment. It was a movement that started in Spain itself, in the city of Barcelona, Pamplona, Cadiz. All the city walls started to be demolished with the excuse of the expansion of the population. When it started in San Juan, the process took 15 years of negotiation of the community with the military government, because the military government refused to demolish the city walls, but the community wanted to expand to all that land that was in the east side of the inlet of San Juan. Well, the big event happened. The Spanish-American War had totally consequences in the island. The Spanish were not there anymore. The U.S. took over, and what they decided was to reconstruct, repair. So everything they started to repair, the city walls, the sections, I showed one image, was totally collapsed. The U.S. Army started to repair it, making repairs. At the same time, World War I, World War II was in the moment, so the U.S. immediately started reinforcing and modifying the fortifications as a measurement of protection of the Panama Canal, which was very important, very strategic at that moment. It's another different moment in history. But, so that, I hope it answers the question, part of the question, why our fortifications are in better shape. Do you want to translate to now? Because I still have more to answer.
네, 실제로 이제 그 여러 가지 팩트가 있다고 말씀해 주셨는데, 이제 그 중에 이제 가장 대표적이었던 게 1898년에 이제 미국과 스페인의 전쟁이 있었는데, 1897년까지 전쟁 전까지 이제 계속 인구가 확장이 되면서 정부와 현지 이제 지자체, 커뮤니티 간에 계속 이렇게 협상이 이루어져 있었습니다. 그리고 이제 그 당시에 성벽을 계속 없애는, 왜냐하면 이제 인구가 계속 확장이 되기 때문에 성벽이 의미가 없었죠. 그래서 스페인 정부 차원에서 성벽들을 계속 허물어오는 과정들이 계속 진행이 되어져 있었는데 1898년에 이제 미국과 스페인의 전쟁으로 이제 스페인이 아니고 미국 정부가 그 지역을 반환하게 되면서 그 보수나 개축이 계속 이루어졌고, 그리고 이제 제2차 세계대전을 직면하게 되면서 이제 각 시설들을 보강하는 그런 작업들이 추가적으로 진행이 되면서 상대적으로 이 푸에르토리코에 있는 성벽들은 안전하게 보존하게 되는 그런 계기가 된 것 같습니다.
Another aspect, important aspect to take in consideration is the construction of the fortifications of San Juan, different from the fortifications of, for example, Havana, right here. While El Morro of San Juan is a vertical structure that falls into the water in different levels, the Morro of Havana is a horizontal, massive construction built in a plane, in a high plane. So the conservation and typology are going to be different. So in Havana, the walls, they were not built massive walls with the height of the walls of San Juan, neither in Dominican Republic, in Santo Domingo, neither in Cartagena, neither in Panama. The only port of the Caribbean that massive vertical walls were built like ours is only San Juan. That typology was only built in San Juan, not in the rest of the Caribbean. If you go to Havana, you may find a little piece of section that has been kept as a monument in the middle of an avenue, because it's all that's left. If you go to Dominican Republic, you may find sections cut off into the community, into houses, colonial houses, because they disappear as part of the evolution of the city. If you go to Chagres and Portobelo, the forts are isolated outside of the city, so there was no walls built there. The center of Panama, that was the historic center, and also the walls, very few left. So the only case that we have that we retain it and maintain it, this typology of vertical massive walls, was San Juan in the Caribbean. Another thing, important thing is Bautista Antonelli made the design and identified the most important ports to protect. But he only made the design. The forts were built later by other engineers, and they just changed the typology according to the budget they had at that moment. So not exactly what Bautista projected in the design was exactly what it was built later. So we're going to see that the same ports remain the same as were the ones that were fortified, but the typologies are going to be changed and they're going to evolve through year.
네, 그래서 이제 추가적으로 말씀해 주셨던 게 산호안 요새와 다른 지역의 요새들을 아까 이제 저희가 지도에서 봤던 것처럼 산호안 요새는 지형을 이용한 부분도 있고 되게 이제 크고 단단하게 수직적으로 이제 버티컬하게 지은 반면에 다른 하바나나 이런 곳들은 이제 그냥 평지에 높지 않게 조성이 되어 있고요. 그리고 저 밑에 있는 차티스라고 되어 있나요? 저기 같은 경우는 이 성이긴 한데 이 도심지하고 분리가 돼서 단독적으로 조성이 되어 있어서 그렇게 기능을 잘 못하는 부분이 있습니다. 그리고 이제 세 번째로 말씀해 주셨던 게 산호안 같은 푸에르토리코 같은 경우는 이 항만과 이 성벽들이 동일한 시기에 같이 그 중요성 때문에 이제 개축이 조성이 되어졌지만 다른 곳들은 항구가 만들어지고 나서 이제 별도로 이제 주어진 예산도 내에서 이제 성을 개축하는 성을 만들어지는 그런 형태로 되어지다 보니까 이 푸에르토리코의 항구하고는 푸에르토리코를 중심으로 한 어떤 성벽 시설하고는 많은 차이가 있습니다.
저도 질문 간단하게 드리면서 간단한 것만 하겠습니다. 발표 너무 잘 들었고요. 첫 번째 질문은 이 성곽을 16세기부터 18세기가 되게 중요해 보이는데 누가 쌓았는지 어떤 방식으로 그 민중등을 이렇게 동원해서 쌓았는지 그게 상당히 궁금하고요. 그리고 이제 두 번째는 이제 18세기가 이 상후함의 대단히 그 번성기라고 하는데 사실 그 영국이 그 1797년에 침략하기 전에 어떤 대외적인 상황은 되게 조용했던 것 같은데 이런 어떤 상후함의 번성기가 푸에르토리코의 번성기, 그 역사적 번성기랑 좀 맞물리는지 그게 좀 궁금합니다.
Okay, we got two questions. Yeah, first one, the San Juan, the fortress was between the 16th to 18th century. It was built and rebuilt, and it was built by the people or someone else. And second question is, as you present the 18th century is a splendor of the time of the fortress. So is it, how about the city, the San Juan or Puerto Rico in 18th century, is a splendor time or what?
Sure. Let me answer the first question. Let me see here. The first question. The Spanish fortifications along the entire territory were always commissioned to a military engineer. In the 16th century, Spain had under their rule Italian engineers working for the King Philip II. So what they transmit to the new continent is a Ballard fortification, which was the one being developed at the moment in Europe. And this is the design and directed and supervised by military engineers, but the man force working on the fortifications were soldiers, slaves, and some people. And then the second question was about the city.
Yeah, 18th century.
Yes. The historic center of San Juan started flourishing as prevailing the Spanish colonial style of construction. Edifications, houses built on masonry and covered by stucco because of the climate that we have, and they were not higher than 2 stories. In some cases, when the person could afford it, they were maybe 3 stories, but normally they were 1 or 2 stories. Then in the 19th century is the real economic development of the island, where at the same time there was a big flourishing of economy based on the coffee plantations. So we're going to have a lot of rich people from Spain building big houses in the city, but also in the inland, big colonial mansions or palaces. So that's going to become a style representative of the 19th century. Is our most developed architectural moment in colonial architecture in the city. But this is not military architecture. This is popular civilian architecture, and we're going to see it in the historic center. I'm sorry I didn't brought details on the houses of the Spanish colonial houses because I was concentrating in the mini architecture. But if you move from the forts into the city and you take a walk, you're going to see entire streets from east to west. And from north to south, you're going to see the classical Spanish colonial style of hanging balconies made out of wood. You're going to see the entrance with stucco walls, very elegant but simple Spanish colonial style.
네, 첫 번째 질문 해주신 거는 아까 이제 저희가 프레젠테이션에서 말씀해 주신 것처럼 이제 실제적인 설계나 이런 부분들은 이제 전문가들이 하겠지만 그 당시 이제 건축들은 이제 노예들이 주로 이제 담당을 하게 되었습니다. 그리고 두 번째 이제 질문 같은 경우는 그러면 산호안 요새가 가장 아름답게 지어진 그때가 이 푸에르토리코의 전성기인가라는 질문을 주셨는데 좀 빠르게 설명해 주셨는데 실은 추가적으로 설명해 주시면서 이제 커피 등 이런 이제 그 어떤 사치품들이 이제 유입되면서 이제 그걸 즐기는 어떤 그런 어떤 사람들이 유입이 된 게 많아졌다고 이야기를 해주셔서 실은 이제 그게 어떤 경제적인 어떤 부흥의 시기로 이해를 해주셔도 될 것 같습니다. 질문이 혹시
Yeah, I'm really appreciated for your good presentation. I guess you have a lot of questions and talking issue, but it's time to go lunch. I'm very sorry for that. So we will move our body with a lot of questions to restaurant and continue to talk together. Thank you again for taking your time to join us and your presentation. 한국어로 말씀 안 드려도 되겠죠? 이것으로 마치겠습니다. 예, 감사합니다.